Hello, I'm Professor Jeff, and we are Fireside Shakespeare Company. Thank you for joining us today. We are so excited to share our workshops with you. First, you may wonder why we are wearing masks. During this time, we know it is crucial to do our part in keeping each other and you safe. That's why in all of our workshops, live performances, and filmed productions, we will always be masked. This ensures that you stay safe, we stay safe, and we can keep on bringing the magic of theater to you. Now for our workshops. These are all inspired by Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, a production that our company just performed. In our workshops, you will get to see behind the scenes in a costume shop. You will learn how to fall safely in our combat feature. You will learn how to dance in the Elizabethan court with a TikTok flair. And for those hardcore language lovers among you, you get the chance to have an in-depth look at the rhetoric at play in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Thank you for sitting with us by the fireside. We hope you enjoy. Come in.
I was hoping I'd find you here. I have some notes from yesterday's rehearsal for A Midsummer Night's Dream. I'm trying to make sense of how these lines are put together. I was told to scan for rhetoric, but I don't know what I'm looking at. I can tell something's going on with these words, but I can't tell what it is. Or I can tell what it is, but I don't know what it's there for.
Ah, rhetoric. Let's take a look.
What does rhetoric even have to do with acting? Is it more like a writing thing?
That's an easy mistake to make, thinking that rhetoric is all about writing. But in reality, it is putting words together to make an argument. It's arranging those words to persuade the audience to your viewpoint.
Oh, so it's the art of arguing. It's the art of effective speaking.
That's it. Let's take a look.
I noticed that people keep repeating themselves in this play.
Ah, that is epizeuxis. Epizeuxis is the immediate repetition of a word or a phrase.
But how does saying something twice make your speech more effective?
Let's find out, shall we? Let's go to Bottom from A Midsummer Night's Dream, who's asking for a calendar to find out whether the moon will shine that night he plays his play.
Calendar. Look in the almanac, find out moonshine, find out moonshine.
Now, why does Bottom repeat himself so often? Bottom repeats a calendar and find out moonshine to give his request a sense of urgency. If he only said each thing once, it might not compel his friends to respond so quickly. Let's see that again.
A calendar. Look in the almanac, find out moonshine, find out moonshine.
Well, it shall be so. But there are two hard things. That is, to bring the moonlight into a chamber, for, Pyramus and Thisbe meet by moonlight.
Doth the moon shine the night we play our play?
A calendar! Look in the almanac. Find out moonshine.
It does shine that night indeed.
Let's go to Lysander and Hermia in Act 2.
Good night, sweet friend. Thy love ne'er alter till thy sweet life end.
Amen. Amen to that fair prayer, say I.
We know that Lysander is really good with words, so why does he repeat himself there? He wants to make sure that Hermia hears him say Amen. If she hears that, she'll know that he agrees with her. He wants her wish to be answered like a prayer. Let's see that again.
Good night, sweet friend, thy love ne'er alter till thy sweet life end.
Amen. Amen to that fair prayer, say I.
Good night, sweet friend. Thy love ne'er alter till thy sweet life end.
Oh. Amen. Amen to that fair prayer, say I. Alright, so that's pretty simple. But then we have the fancy stuff. You know, the stuff no one uses in everyday conversation.
What stuff are you referring to?
I'm thinking about the thing where someone puts the noun in front of the adjective, like adders fanged or maiden fair. Or adders fair and maiden fanged, I suppose.
Oh, you mean hyperbaton.
Hyperbaton. Yes! I'm used to seeing it because it's all over these plays, but what's the purpose of mixing the grammar up like that? Is it just to fit in the verse line?
I'd say it's never to fit the verse line, but it does have some other uses as well. Let's take a look. Let's see Lysander after he's just had the love potion placed on his eyes, and he wakes up to see Helena.
Lysander, if you live, good sir, awake.
And run through fire I will for thy sweet sake.
Do you notice anything strange about how this sentence is structured? Lysander puts run through fire at the front of the sentence. What effect could that have on this sentence? It makes it more intense. It helps the audience know how suddenly and huge Lysander's transformation was. He goes from having no interest in Helena to being completely in love with her. Let's see that again.
And run through fire I will for thy sweet sake.
Lysander, if you live, good sir, awake.
And run through fire I will for thy sweet sake.
Now let's see Oberon apply the love potion to Titania's eyes.
What thou seest when thou dost wake, do it for thy true love take.
Did you notice the hyperbaton? That's right. Do it for thy true love take. Now, why would Oberon rearrange the line like that? There are a couple of possibilities. Number one, she's making the line into a rhyme for her spell. Secondly, putting do in front makes it more of a command that would be difficult to disobey. Can we hear that again?
What thou seest when thou dost wake, do it for thy true love take.
What thou seest when thou dost wake, do it for thy true love take.
Ah, I see you've underlined some erythema in your text. I trust you know what that is?
How could you expect me to know that?
Well, for one thing, you just used it.
Are you telling me there's a fancy name for a rhetorical question?
Would you believe me if I said yes? In all seriousness, erythema is asking a question to affirm or deny a point. You're not actually expecting the audience to answer the question. It is a question that acts like a statement.
Are you ready to see some erythema in action?
Isn't that my line? Now we have Demetrius pursued by Helena through the woods.
Do I entice you? Do I speak you fair? Or rather, do I not in plainest truth tell you I do not, nor I cannot love you?
Demetrius asking Helena all these questions. He wants her to go away and stop following him through these woods. He is asking whether he's done anything to attract her in order to remind her that he hasn't, in hopes that she will go away. Let's see that again.
Do I entice you? Do I speak you fair? Or rather, do I not, in plainest truth, tell you I do not, nor I cannot love you? I love thee not, therefore pursue me not.
Leave you your power to draw, and I shall have no power to follow you.
Do I entice you? Do I speak you fair? Or rather, do I not, in plainest truth, tell you I do not, nor I cannot love you?
Let's see Lysander in the midst of the fight between the four lovers.
Hermia, but Helena I love. Who would not change a raven for a dove?
Now, what question is Lysander asking here? He's asking, who wouldn't give up a raven for a dove? And what is the answer to that? No one. Everyone would pick a dove over a raven, so he's saying that everyone would choose Helena over Hermia. Let's see that again.
Not Hermia, but Helena I love, who will not change a raven for a dove. Not Hermia, but Helena I love, who will not change a raven for a dove.
Oh, here we have Isocolon.
Isocolon. I remember that one. I think it's one of my favorites. At least, it's the one I remember best.
Well, then tell us about it.
Isocolon is when you have two or more sentences or phrases with the same or parallel syntax. That means they use the same parts of speech in the same order. For instance, I could say, climb the orange tree, or eat the bright apple, or watch the distant airplane. Verb, the, adjective, noun. Parallel syntax.
Hear thee, rhetoric expert. You are a pro. Isocolon is indeed multiple phrases or sentences, one after the other, arranged in parallel syntax. Now we have Demetrius at the beginning of the play.
Relent, sweet Hermia, and Lysander, yield thy crazed title to my certain right.
Did you notice the isocolon there? Crazed title, and then certain right. Adjective, noun, adjective, noun. So what's the purpose of this? It makes a very clear comparison between the things he's talking about. Lysander's title, or his claim to Hermia's love, is crazed. It's wild, it's nonsense. Whereas Demetrius's right to Hermia's love is certain. It is the opposite of crazed, and no one can question it. Let's hear that contrast.
Relent, sweet Hermia, and Lysander, yield thy crazed title to my certain right. Relent, sweet Hermia, and Lysander, yield thy crazed title to my certain right.
Next, we have Lysander wandering through the woods with his love Hermia.
One turf shall serve as pillow for us both, one heart, one bed, two bosoms, and one troth.
Now, what is the parallel structure here? One heart, one bed, two bosoms, and one troth. Number, noun, number, noun, number, noun, and number, noun. Now, why would Lysander do this? He's trying to prove to Hermia that because they are two halves of one love, they should be able to lie down together. Let's see that in action.
One turf shall serve as pillow for us both, one heart, one bed, two bosoms, and one troth. One turf shall serve as pillow for us both, one heart, one bed, two bosoms, and one troth.
Now we get to everyone's favorite, malapropism.
I don't think that was on my list.
Well, you might as well get used to it. It's all over Shakespeare, especially the comedies. You're playing one of the mechanicals in Midsummer, correct?
Yes, I'm Peter Quince, the guy who directs their little mini play.
Well, the mechanicals use malapropisms all over the place.
So how do I recognize a malapropism? Tell me about it.
A malapropism is the misuse or distortion of a word, usually in place of the correct, similar sounding word.
I thought you told me rhetoric was the art of effective speaking.
True. Malapropisms are not usually something you want to include in public speaking. When a writer uses malapropism, it's usually just them having fun.
Or could it be for character? Like, a character could be confused or forgetful, or maybe they're showing off and pretending to know way more big words than they actually know.
Well, what do you think the mechanicals are doing with their malapropism?
The mechanicals? I say, let's go find out.
Here we have Peter Quince announcing the title of the play that they will be performing for the Duke's wedding.
Mary, our play is The Most Lamentable Comedy and Most Cruel Death of Pyramus and Thisbe.
So which word is incorrectly used here? Comedy. Quince says lamentable comedy instead of lamentable tragedy. Why would Quince make this error? It's important to note that Quince is not an actor or dramatist by trade. He's using theater words that he is unfamiliar with, and it shows his lack of experience. Let's see that in action.
Mary, our play is The Most Lamentable Comedy and Most Cruel Death of Pyramus and Thisbe.
Point.
Mary, our play is The Most Lamentable Comedy and Most Cruel Death of Pyramus and Thisbe.
Now we have Bottom, arguing for why he should play the lion as well as Pyramus.
Let me play the lion too. I will aggravate my voice that I will roar you as gently as any sucking dove.
So where is the malaprop here? In fact, there are two in this line. Aggravate my voice and roar you as gently as any sucking dove. Why are they malaprops? Well, a dove would not necessarily have an aggravated voice. They might have a more moderated voice. And I don't think anyone has ever seen a sucking dove before. So what does this mistake tell us? It reminds us that Bottom is one of the less refined characters in the play. He's definitely clever, but perhaps not the best educated. He goes to use a fancy word and he messes it up. Let's see that again.
Let me play the lion too. I will aggravate my voice so that I will roar you as gently as any sucking dove.
I will aggravate my voice so that I will roar you as gently as any sucking dove.
Thank you for joining us by the fireside for that wonderful workshop. If you want more of these workshops, check out our website, firesideshakespearecompany.com, for more. Have a wonderful day.